Yo, what's going on? In this video, we got to take it to your boy hometown. I'm representing for the team. You see, I got my little Commanders throw on. It just keep me cozy when I'm watching last second game winning touchdowns going on. But hey, we gotta bring it to your boy's hometown because hey, I talk about what's going on in Dalton and all sorts of other areas. So when there's some BS going on in your boy's backyard, we gotta talk about it. As always, I'm Marcus, and here we talk attorney reactions to current events, trending news. If you get any value out of this content, make sure you like, share, subscribe. And if you want to become official co-counsel, definitely hit the join button below. Now, let's jump into it. I did a video some time back on DC Council Member Ward 8, Council Member Trayon White. And hey, I'm someone, as I said in that video, who has met him in a professional work capacity during my time in district government. And I've also someone who talked to him in a personal capacity. He spoke at a service for a family member of mine who passed away. And generally, I give everybody the benefit of the doubt. I think that he generally has a history and track record of making decisions that are in the best interest of his constituents. With that being said, hey, what you've done in the past may not be indicative of what you might do in the future. In that video, we went through his federal bribery indictment, and it was wild. It was camera, audio footage, still images in the indictment. Talks of how he needed extra money so his baby mother can go on his girls' trip. It was actually a wild, very entertaining indictment. I'll drop the link on the screen so you all can check it out. But now we're here, and the issue is what's going to happen to his council member seat. Well, the election has came and went, and he won easily his reelection for his seat. But now the DC City Council is in a position where they're making recommendations to have him removed from office in light of his indictment. And I read the indictment. The facts and the evidence don't look good for your boy. Let's go ahead, take a look at the video, and then we're going to circle back and talk about what's going on, why him being removed doesn't matter, and really the voters are probably going to vote this guy back in at the end of the day, absent the fact that it's going to cost them almost $500,000 to do so. Let's dive in. Let's talk about it.
Tonight in the controversy surrounding DC Council Member Trayon White, he's now facing the real possibility of being kicked off the council by his colleagues.
The council voted unanimously today to recommend a full vote to expel White. He is facing a federal bribery charge.
News 4's Mark Seagraves was at today's hearing. Mark, what does this mean for Council Member White, and what did he have to say about it today, if anything?
It's certainly not good news for him. It really appears that the full council is now prepared to vote Councilmember White off of the council. White sat in the front row of the audience today watching as his colleagues discussed his fate. Surrounded by a small group of supporters, Councilmember Trayon White made a statement to reporters before the hearing began.
Just last month, over 20,000 people in Ward 8 decided that they wanted me to be their council member. So we're sticking to that. I'm encouraged this morning, but I know the council has a job. Do not respect that as a member of the council.
White is facing a federal indictment charged with taking a bribe to influence government contracts. Prosecutors have photos, they say, show the council member accepting the cash bribes. An independent investigation authorized by the council concluded White did violate the law and council code. Today, White sat in the front row watching as one by one, each of his council colleagues said the council should vote to expel him.
To recommend to the council that Mr. Trayon White be expelled from the council pursuant to the council's rules.
It is therefore with a heavy heart that I conclude, as the chairman has, that we have no choice but to vote to expel Councilmember Trayon White from the Council of the District of Columbia.
It is my hope that Councilmember Trayon White will not see this process to the end, but will resign.
Expulsion is an appropriate sanction in light of the serious violations of the DC Code of Conduct and the Council's Code of Official Conduct, and I support the Council moving forward with an expulsion resolution today.
I believe this committee should vote to expel Mr. Trayon White.
There is only one path forward, and I support the motion for expulsion. These violations of law, without question, amount to a gross failure to meet the highest standards of personal and professional conduct, leaving this committee no choice but to recommend the sanction of expulsion.
After the hearing, White gave the same answer as he was peppered with questions by reporters.
No comment at the moment. Thank you.
Okay, so they voted to recommend expulsion. It's probably a process that's going to take a few months. The big point and the big takeaway here is it does not matter. In 4 to 5 months, he's going to be back in his seat. They're going to vote to expel him from his seat. He's going to lose his seat. They're going to have a special election. He'll be involved and have his name on the ballot in that special election. And people are probably going to vote him back in office. And the question is going to be, will the council go through this again just to expel him? It's just an absolute waste of taxpayer money. Now, I would just tell you, me personally, when you're caught finessing bribes as blatant and as egregious as he was, it might be in your best interest to start to look to see if there's other representatives who can represent your interests. But no, that's probably not going to happen. He's a familiar face. He has generally good ties within his community. Hey, I'm not knocking them for it. So they probably aren't going to look anywhere else. The special election process is going to cost the taxpayers almost $500,000. So not only does this dude have substantial evidence against him with regard to taking bribes associated with a program to stop gun violence in that particular area and in the district, but he's also going to cost the taxpayers damn near $500,000 for this special election. But the voters probably aren't going to give a damn. They're just going to vote him back in. It's actually an interesting story. Now, the big topic is going to come into play and is going to be when he has his trial and if he is found guilty. I think the evidence is damning because it's just too much video and audio surveillance there. I've been doing this for a while. I've been a defense attorney for a long time. I've been on the other side. It's too much damning evidence against him. Once that conviction comes into play, we're going to have to wait to see what his actual sentence is. Even if he eats a conviction, even if he is sentenced to actual active time in custody, he'll probably still get out and have that seat. I think the council members voted unanimously is probably the right thing to do because right now the DC council is scared shitless because there is going to be a Republican president, entirely Republican Congress, and for years Republicans have been wanting to take DC back over how it used to be back in the day. Back in the day, DC was controlled by Congress, not by independent legislature as it is now. And hey, any opportunity, if they look weak on crime, things get egregious, without a shadow of a doubt, Congress will intervene. Hey, is it a bad thing if Congress take over? Is it a good thing? I don't know. We'll talk about it later on at a later date. But you all let me know what you think in the comments. One, do you think expulsion is the right idea? I say yes. If it were me, I would probably advise him that he should resign, but he's not going to resign. And understandably, I can understand why he wouldn't. But the other question that I want y'all to let me know in the comments is, even after expulsion, he's going to probably be on the ballot in the special election and win. Do you think his expulsion should have some type of finite bar from him being able to run in a special election? So, for example, do you think it should be a law out there that says if you're expelled unanimously from the city council, you are barred in running in the special election immediately after your expulsion to fill your vacant seat? Do you think that should be a law? Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments. As always, if you got some value out of this content, make sure you check out the content that's on the screen.